Okay. All right. So my name is Rosetta, and this is Donisha.
And who are you, Rosetta?
So I am the one behind DRD Natural Health. I am a nutritionist, certified natural nutritionist, and a medical missionary. I will always include that, medical missionary, because that's what we're called to do.
Mhm.
And I've been doing this for some time now, many years actually, and we're happy to have you today, hoping that you will benefit from this session. And right beside me is Donisha. She is my older daughter, and she is maybe the last time we were on a Zoom session with DRD. Donisha was in school. Many of you were aware of it, and there are many of you that were praying for her. Well, today we are pleased that the Lord has seen her through, and she's now a certified naturopathic doctor. She's a licensed. So I'm certified, she's licensed. Naturopathic doctor, and she's going to be giving us some tips. So that's what we're going to start with today, or tips. All over to you, Donisha.
Okay, hello everyone. I just wrote some notes on my phone. That's probably someone calling trying to get into the Zoom class.
Yeah.
So let's not pay that any mind. And we're going to be talking about protein today. And just so you know, we have two little puppies. Well, they're not puppies. We have two dogs. Her name is Snow. The other one is Nala. So if you hear any barking, that's just them being excited about this cook along, okay? Just like you. So we're gonna be talking about protein today. And so what is protein? So protein is a macronutrient, right? And if you see me moving away, I'm just logging people in. So protein is a macronutrient, so just like carbohydrates and just like fats. And proteins are made up of amino acids. And proteins perform different functions in the body. So they're important for our muscles, for our bones, for our skin, for our health. They're used to make enzymes and hormones and components of our immune system. So they are very, very essential. And if we go back even to the level of the cell, we can see that protein actually helps to make the border of the cell. So we can see even to that small level that protein is essential. Now, what are some sources of protein? I'm sure you've heard that animal protein is better than plant protein, or plant protein doesn't compare to animal protein. But where does that cow get its protein, right? Where does the elephant get its protein? It gets it from plants. So we don't need to have secondhand protein. We can just get it directly from our plants. And we also know that there are different ways that we can combine foods to get complete protein. So we can combine our grains with our legumes, and we can combine our grains with nuts and seeds. So those are different ways we can get complete protein. And then other forms of complete protein would be like quinoa, that's a grain, buckwheat, that's another grain. And we know soy is a complete protein as well. And another reason that we need to have protein is because it helps with satiety. So, you know, sometimes people have a meal and like 2 hours later they feel hungry. It could be because they're not having a balanced meal. And we know that a balanced meal needs to have some carbohydrates, some protein, and some fats. So we want to ensure that whenever we're having our meals, especially our main meals, that they're complete and balanced, which would include some protein as well. So how much protein do you need per day? So the calculation is 1 gram per kilogram of body weight. So as you can see, I am on the smaller side. So let's say I am 50 kilograms. So that would mean that I would need 50 grams of protein per day. right? So that would include my grains, my nuts, my seeds, and legumes. And that would give me my the total amount of protein that I need for the day. Some people struggle to get enough protein. And so one solution to that could be adding protein powder to your meals or having it with your meals. And other health benefits of having enough protein, it helps to maintain our body weight. Because when you have protein on your plate, it ensures that you're not overdoing the carbs. Because we know that when we have too much carbs, the body actually stores it as fat. So having that protein with our meal ensures that we maintain our body weight. It also helps to maintain our muscles. And I know a lot of times when people get older, they lose their muscles. That's called sarcopenia, so muscle wasting. So you want to ensure that you're getting sufficient amounts of protein in order to maintain your muscle mass. Because especially as women, as we get older and we go through menopause, our muscles are affected and our bones are affected because of that decrease in estrogen. So by ensuring that we have enough protein in our diet, we can help to prevent muscle loss and muscle wasting. Having enough protein helps to reduce cravings. Why? Because it's helping with satiety. So we want to ensure that we are satisfied, and your brain will know if you've had a complete meal or not. So we know that when we eat carbs, so let's say for breakfast you had a toasted bagel with some butter. That was it. You know that in 2 hours you're hungry again. You're craving more sweets. And that's because your body needs more energy. Your body needs more than a bagel in the morning. That's why we really want to stress the importance of having a healthy and a balanced diet. Protein also helps with maintaining your metabolism and your overall weight, like I mentioned before. So today we're gonna be using tofu as our protein source. Now we know that protein is a tofu is a complete protein. And when we get our tofu as best as possible, so I'm just gonna mute everyone. Just give me 1 second because I'm hearing some people here. Okay, so when we buy our tofu, we want to ensure that it is organic, right? Because we know that tofu is one of those beans that is sprayed. So we want to ensure that we get it organic and it is very concentrated. So we want to ensure that when we eat the tofu, we're not having it every single day. And I can tell you it is very concentrated because I've spent many times helping my mom to make tofu. It is a long process, but it requires a lot of soybeans. So we really want to ensure that, yes, you can enjoy the tofu, but everything in moderation. Well, good things in moderation, right? So again, we want to welcome you to our cook along. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to cooking with you, and we're excited to get started. So let's go. Let's get started.
All right. So thank you, Donisha. Thank you so much. That information that you just received was not just information. We want you to put them in practice. All right. Okay. Yes. So let us continue. So today, one of the things that we want to do, we want to show you some of the things, be it seasoning, herbs, spices, that we use in our kitchen. So in this jar, I have some onion powder. Now, one of the things that I want you to know about onion powder and garlic powder, so this one's garlic powder, this one's onion powder, and I'm going to show you something. This is my onion powder. And for the most part, my onion powder is hard. And that is because I made it myself. Onion powder and garlic powder have the ones you buy in the store they include in them anti-caking agent. That is something that causes them to flow, not to stick together. So in this case, this one's moving, the garlic is moving because it's not powder, this one's granule. But the onion powder is the flakes, the onion flakes that I blended into a powder. And very shortly thereafter, it sticks together. So this is what I use, and you can buy the flakes if you so desire and blend it into powder. That way you know for sure that you are not getting the anti-caking agent that is used by the manufacturers. This is marjoram. It is a herb, and today I'm not going to say much about the herbs, but you will hear from Donisha in another session the benefits of some of these herbs and why you want to use herbs as opposed to some spices in your cooking. So this one's marjoram. We have summer savory, another herb, and a combination of these herbs will give you different flavors. Sometimes just throwing them together, and when we're done, you'll say, that tastes like fish, or that tastes like chicken, or that tastes like whatever. So this one is celery seed. We all know celery. This is the seed of the celery. And if you don't want to use it as a seed, you can blend it and use it in your cooking. Sage. Sage is another herb, and these herbs are very easy to grow as well. So you can grow them inside your house, or you can grow them on the outside and pick them in the summer, dry the leaves, and then you can bottle them. This one is Italian seasoning. I'm sure a lot of persons are familiar with this one. It's a combination of herbs such as rosemary, oregano, a combination of dried herbs will give you the Italian seasoning. This is parsley. Most of us, I believe, are familiar with parsley flakes. I have some turmeric, which we use when we're doing our curry. And this is rosemary. I also have fennel seeds. I don't have it on the counter here, but I have fennel seeds as well. And this one is paprika. I'm not sure how many of us are familiar with this, but this one is garam masala. I bought this one, but it is something that you can make because we have made our own garam masala. Donisha made it, actually, not me. And some of the ingredients are coriander, cumin, fenugreek, clove, cardamom, salt. So this is a very good spice or herb mixture to use when you're doing your stews, like your stew peas or your beans, your lentils and chickpeas. This goes well in it. You should not use too much because the flavor can be very strong. And we have our salt. Now, most people have salt in their kitchen. This one is pink Himalayan salt. And in this jar, I have the Celtic salt, a CELTIC, Celtic salt. And these are two of the best salts that you can have. The components of these two salts you will find in your blood. So it's very good to have these salts. I also have a black salt. I'm not sure how many of us are familiar with black salt, but this one tastes very much like, it gives you an egg flavor. So it has a lot of sulfur in it, right? So if you're doing, if you're going to do like some scrambled tofu, making it into scrambled egg, or you want anything to have a fishy or eggy flavor, then you can use this. If you cook with it, you lose some of the flavor, but if you add it like at the end of your meal, which is something good to do, to add your salt closer to the end of your meal, shortly before turning the flame off, and then it will maintain the flavor. So today, if you have questions, please ask them as we go along.
Thanks
and do
for
our sessions.
sharing all of that with us. Are you guys ready to cook? We can't see your videos because this is a cook along.
Yes, we would love to see what you're doing.
Okay.
So we're moving our things in place.
Yeah, let's see. Is anyone in the kitchen right now? Don't see anyone in the kitchen. But that's okay. Maybe next week they'll be more prepared.
In the kitchen? Okay, I'm just gonna let the water out. So I did send an email out asking persons to get, do you wanna just cut this? To get tofu. And because this is a cook along and what we want you to do is to learn to make your own protein. So what we want you to do is your protein dishes, right? We want you to use the flavors that you're familiar with. We want you to use the seasoning that you're familiar with. So I am going to use, say for example, I use Italian seasoning, but you don't have that in your kitchen. You're not familiar with that, but you have some other herbs in your kitchen that you love to use. That's what we want you to use, right? As we go along. So whatever it is we're making, I will, each week, we will send you the main ingredients. But when it comes to the seasoning, then we are leaving that up to you because you are in your kitchen. We're giving you the main thing that you need to use. So who is cooking with us today? Turn your cameras on. I'm going to wash my hands, okay?
I said no.
All right.
So we know one person's not cooking.
I didn't get that email. I don't go to email very often.
Okay. I'm sure you'll be ready next week.
Yeah, I will be.
That sounds good. All right. So we're making tofu today, and I really enjoy having tofu.
Yes,
so let's see.
This is one of our family favorite, and we call it happy tofu. You can call it whatever you want to call it. So we have our block of tofu, and we're going to cut it. I'm cutting mine in little strips, little rectangular shape strips. You can cut yours in whatever shape you want to cut yours in. So
you can do cubes.
Yep.
Or you can have it really big, like show them that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can have it that size.
What if you wanted to have it like this? You could. Or you wanted to cut this in 3, you could.
I'll read it. So there's a comment, but so someone says they're not presentable to turn their camera on. That's okay.
Okay.
We're hoping to see you on camera next week.
All right.
There's another comment. Face camera down a little. You can't see our faces?
Oh, okay. Maybe the board.
Oh,
you
okay.
want to see the board. Okay.
Thanks for letting us know.
All right. Can you start the oven for me to preheat? Okay, so I just sliced the tofu, and then my knife is not long enough, so I'll just cut it again. And I prefer having smaller slices. So as I said, if you want bigger slices, that's fine. These are my slices. Okay. Yeah, did you see that?
I know
I
she
know.
has a white dress and
Yeah,
she has
the
white
tofu is
tofu.
white.
Maybe put it against me.
Yes, I'll do that. There you go.
That's the size of the tofu. Are you
Yes,
putting it in?
yes. And then I throw it in my dish. Okay.
And this is one block of tofu. If you have a bigger family, you can obviously do more tofu.
Yep. All right. So I'm gonna move this out of the way a bit
Question.
because now
Is this store-bought firm tofu or did you make it? Or is it soft?
this one is store-bought. I did not make this one because I've been busy in the last couple of weeks. I was not at home some of the time, so I had to buy a tofu to make.
But it's
And you bought firm tofu? Firm?
Yes,
Firm.
yes,
Okay.
yes. This one is firm. This one is firm. I'm just gonna turn the volume up a bit. All right, so this one is firm. So usually I put my tofu in a container, and now we're going to add our spices based on what we like, right?
Mhm.
So I like salt. I like to give it a little color, so I'm gonna put some turmeric.
Mhm.
I'm going to put some Italian seasoning. And the reason I'm using this one is because it saves me from using all the others, right? Because it has a combination of herbs in there. And I'm gonna use some parsley as well. What are you using? In addition to that, I'm also using onion and garlic powder. What are you using?
Or what would you like to use since you're probably not cooking right now?
I find parsley totally useless. It doesn't have any taste. Dry parsley has no taste.
No, it's for
The color.
the eye appeal.
Yeah, but it doesn't stay green. It just sort of.
Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't make it green. It just helps to add some contrast because the tofu is white.
And these are brown.
Yeah. And then this is yellow.
Yeah.
And then you have some
Some
green.
green. Yes.
All right.
Because
Carry on.
remember, yeah, remember we eat with our eyes, right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so
Mhm.
good. And he's using the same. Very
All
good.
right.
All right. So now, again, some persons like to use more of some things than others. So
Mhm.
you can put the quantity that you would like to add to your meal. But you would add, because someone might be using two blocks of tofu. I'm just using one. You can grab a spoon and you can add some stuff to it as well.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with the turmeric. And we know turmeric is anti-inflammatory. It can help with a lot of digestive issues. Oops.
Yep. All right. I'm using some onion powder, and I'm gonna add some garlic powder as well.
I'm gonna add the parsley. I like the parsley.
You know, one thing with us from the islands, we never used to use like measuring spoons, right? We just grab a spoon.
Well, I'm not
And
measuring. I'm just.
I know. And then after a while, you know, Donishan said to me, how am I gonna learn how to cook if you don't make recipes? So then I had to make recipes, right? But we still do, or just throw things in. But you don't want to be too much on the salt, so you want to make sure that you're using the right amount of salt. You don't want it to be too fresh, but at the same time, you don't want it to be too salty. And
when she says too fresh, she means too bland.
Bland. And if there is someone who is on and you are hypertensive and you believe that I should not be using salt, that is not true. There are persons who cook without salt, and they have not been cooking with salt for years and they still have hypertension. So what does that say? The salt is not, I mean, using the wrong salt, yes, or too much of the wrong salt, but your body needs salt. If you should taste your perspiration, it has salt in it. If you cry, your tears have salt in it, or body needs salt. So make sure you're getting some salt into your body. And then I put a little bit of oil. In my case, I'm using olive oil or coconut oil. And the reason is I don't want my tofu to be dry and tough. And the oil softens it. In addition to that, it helps it with the color that it's going to get. So usually I would just add 1 tablespoon. And because this is a teaspoon, I did 2. Okay, thank you. And what I would do after that, I just shake it up, because I don't want them breaking apart. So I would just shake it until they are all coated.
And if any fall out, 5-second rule.
Okay, if you pass that pan for me. Now, what I do with this,
Yeah.
I'm going to put it in the oven, and I've already set the oven is already preheating. I'm gonna put it at 375, and I'm gonna let this go for about 20 minutes. During that time, we are going to work on the other part of the recipe. Okay. All right. I'm putting this behind me. Because it is happy tofu, on my board, my cutting board, I have different color bell peppers. Okay.
Just to know, guys, I don't like bell peppers. So I like when they're cut really big.
So
I
that
can
she can
pick
take them out. So today we're cutting them really big. But for contrast, then because those are cut lengthwise, then these we're just gonna cut them in cubes, right? And so I take off a piece of each. I must let you know something as well. There are many persons out there who are suffering from digestive issues. A lot of persons have digestive conditions that they are struggling with. And because of that, we don't do fruits and vegetables together, even in our meal preparation. So you might need something green in yours, and you might say, okay, you'll use green pepper. That's fine. I don't use green pepper, but I'm not here to condemn anyone because they use green pepper. So if you love green pepper, then go ahead and use your green pepper. And I have some cilantro, which I really, really love. So at the end of the cooking, then I'll just add that to the top, and that will be my green. But
before you continue, there's a question from Anne. How much turmeric? So Anne, I didn't measure the turmeric. I just sprinkled it until I thought it was enough. Because I'm learning from my mom here that I don't need a recipe. But with that turmeric, if you add too much of it, it can almost taste bitter. So I just put a little, just enough to give it some color. And that's all I did.
Yeah.
Crystal says, I love onion and garlic. It gives a really nice flavor.
I
Yes,
agree
it
with
does.
you.
Yes,
Yes, yes. I'm using the powder instead of the natural onion and garlic. But yes, I love garlic too, but I do have a family member who does not like garlic.
It's not me.
No, it's not her. She does not like the peppers. But every now and again.
Answering me. If
Oh,
I
you're
had to say-
no.
Okay, I'm going back to the onion powder that she said she. So if you buy the flakes, I bought the flakes and they've actually clumped together. How do you deal with that? The onion flakes, or the onion, whatever those pieces, bits or whatever. And
You
but
might have to-
I just saw you shake the onion powder. So did that have anti-caking?
No, no, this one is garlic powder, and no, this is not garlic powder. This is garlic granules. So this is not powder.
So it's only the powder that has the caking in it?
Yes,
Caking?
it's
Okay.
yeah.
I
As far
use
as
the granules and it froze fury for onion and garlic.
okay, as far as I know, it's just the powder because they don't want it to stick together, so they add the anti-caking agent to it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry, we didn't see your hand. It's because the hand is yellow and it seems like your wall is also yellow. So it's
I
kind
could
of
see my
hard to
hand from
see.
here. Okay, the other thing is, you gotta catch me soon, and I'm losing my thought. If you don't catch me soon, I forget what I'm saying. What about green pepper? Why don't you like green pepper? Is it a choice or is something wrong with it?
So this is what I learned a few years ago when mommy started gardening. If you've ever grown green peppers, they actually change color. So green peppers are like the unripened form of the pepper. So we try not to eat unripened foods.
Okay, thanks for that.
You're welcome. And that's to answer Enrica as well. So we try to eat the fruits, and this is a fruit, right? We try to eat it in its ripened form.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay. All
You're
right. So now I have all my
Peppers.
my peppers chopped. And if you like, and you put maybe onion in yours, that's fine. Onion and garlic, that is fine as well. So now, while your tofu is baking, I hope you can see this. I'll pull it back some more. All right. So now we're going to saute our peppers. All right. We're going to saute our peppers. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to ask Donisha to pick the leaves off the just pick up the fun part. Yes, I'm giving her the fun part to do. Again, there are some persons when they're cooking, they're going to use, if they're sauteing, they're going to use oil. And sometimes we use the wrong oil. Even sometimes we purchase the olive oil, and the olive oil is not olive oil. No, because the world knows that everyone is using olive oil. So there are some of them that are mixed. So you want to make sure you get a very good olive oil. The one I normally use, I don't remember the name. Terry DeLisa. And I know that one is not mixed because that one is a world, it came second in some contest that they had. And the one
Can you show us the bottle?
It's finished.
I
We
think
don't
it's
have the
finished,
bottle.
but it's black and yellow with a like a horse on it. It's
Is that what's the one you get from Costco?
That's exactly where I got it.
They sell it at other stores too, like Metro.
Yes.
Okay, I got it at Costco. Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, it's like the second best olive oil in the world.
Yeah, I heard that before, but I wasn't sure the same one you were talking about. Okay, beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, so the other thing about the sauteing is that the oil, even if persons are using olive oil, then they allow the pot to get so hot that when the oil is heated, then it changes the structure of the oil completely. So what I'm using today, I'm just using a little bit of water, and I'm gonna saute my peppers in that. Also, I am going to be seasoning this as well because it would be bland, right? And we don't want that. So
sorry, is this angle okay, or do you want us to bend the video some more? Let us know.
Are you seeing?
Looks okay to me.
Looks okay.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So I'm going to add to this some salt.
Guys, this cilantro smells really good. I love cilantro.
Oh, yeah.
Love cilantro. I have to give you guys some seeds to plant this year. I had a bumper crop last year.
Oh, that's good.
A bumper crop. It was beautiful. I have some in my freezer. Something
Wow.
you-
Wow.
A
That
lot of
means
people
you
don't like
probably
cilantro, but I've been eating cilantro like it's going out of style because I know it's good for me.
have-
Okay, admit. And I'm using some marjoram, so I'm trying to use something different than I use in the tofu. And I'm gonna use some sage as well. And as you're doing this, because you're using water, the water will dry out. You may need to add just a little bit more water to your pot. And we can learn to appreciate the smell and the taste of the different herbs in our kitchen, other than just salt and pepper or just the powdered seasoning.
Mhm.
Another thing, as I said, pepper is cayenne. If you are someone who loves to cook with pepper, then you can use cayenne pepper over the other peppers. Except for cayenne pepper, the other peppers are irritating to the stomach. Cayenne pepper is medicinal and it will help with your digestive issues as well. My encouragement to you though would be, like the oil, to add the cayenne pepper at the end, right? So you saute your peppers, your onions, your whatever in some water. At the end, just when you're ready to turn the fire off, then you add a little bit of oil and you mix that in. And then you are getting the benefit of all the flavors. And you can see, let me bring them this way. You can see all the colors, how nice they are.
Mhm.
And when you prepare your meals with lots of colors, then people want to eat it, right?
Yeah.
Because the once they see the colors, then they're ready to eat. Their palate is open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know if you've ever like sat down to eat and everything on your plate is one color.
Yeah, that has happened to me already.
So ideally you want to have different colors because it's pleasing to the eye, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Donisha mentioned food combination or
Mhm.
proper combination so that you get complete protein. We're not doing that today because the tofu is
Yeah.
already complete protein. But come next week, we will look at some examples of complete protein in putting or menu together. So what will happen is during the week, I'm gonna send you an email with the ingredients for next week so that you will have that on hand and ready to go. Okay, so my peppers are done. I don't like them soggy. I like them crunchy. So I'm not going to allow them to get soggy. And at this point, I'm gonna add just a little bit of oil. And I've turned it off already.
What about the cayenne?
We're not adding the cayenne to this one.
No, we're not adding cayenne to this one. To be honest, we don't cook with pepper at all.
Or cayenne pepper.
Yeah, we don't cook with cayenne pepper because we don't use the others. We don't cook with cayenne pepper. What we will do, or what we encourage persons to do is if they do have stomach issues, just before their meal, they can take, I'll just take that off the flame. Just before their meal, they can take like a quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper in some lemon juice. So if you're having, if your stomach is burning, or you're having heartburn,
esophageal
GERD,
reflux, yeah.
you feel that lump in your throat, like the food is coming up back, then you're having stomach issues. If you are gassy all the time, if you are bloated all the time, if your stomach is growling all the time, you do have stomach issues. And those need to be addressed. And if you have food in your stool as well, those you need to address. And in those cases, then we take a little bit of cayenne pepper in some lemon juice just before our meal. So I'm just gonna give the tofu a quick stir.
Yeah, so I can just share something really quickly. I used to have a lot of heartburn. You know, as a student, sometimes you do things you're not supposed to do, like eating and studying at the same time. And after doing that for a long time, I developed heartburn. So I used to have the cayenne in lemon juice. I would do that just before my meal. And of course, the cayenne burns, but it doesn't last long. And that's just a sensation. It actually doesn't burn your GI tract at all. But obviously, if you have more serious conditions, then you need to see a doctor to get that checked out, right?
All right. So Anne, I know you were cooking with us. Where are you now?
They're disappeared. Where are they?
Anne is there. And she's probably busy trying to put her her dish together.
Okay.
But I'm just giving mine another 2 minutes. It's almost ready. And then I'll put it together. And are there any questions in the meantime?
What are you going to serve with it?
Ah, that's a very good question. Now you can decide whether you're going to have that. You can have that as a wrap. So you could do roti or any wrap that you like. Yeah. Yeah, or you could have that with your rice and your vegetables. So in your main meal, we are going to have with that, we're going to have some brown rice, and we are going to have vegetables, a fruit salad. So our salad would be tomatoes, cucumbers, and we have the peppers in here already, again, because we don't do fruits and vegetables together. Yeah.
Any other questions? So I think.
Any other questions?
You want me to go?
No.
I think Mommy's gonna get the tofu, and we're going to share it out so you can see. The beauty of this is we already have our dinner prepared, at least one part of it. So there's a comment from Anne. Yes, busy doing, she's doing kale on the side.
Oh.
Don't have peppers available. Also baked sweet potato. Okay.
Wow.
That sounds like a good meal, and you have lots of color. The sweet potatoes orange, the kale is green, and then the tofu. That would look very, very nice.
So tell them about an option if they didn't want to do fruits. Some
vegetables so you could use any vegetable that you like. You can have cruciferous vegetables, so broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. You can have kale like Anne is having, or collard greens,
Carrots.
Yeah, carrots, celery, beets. Oh, beets are so good.
Yeah.
And that would be, you can have callaloo as well. And having the beets would give a nice, rich, dark red, purple color. So that would add some more color to your meal. So here, Mommy is taking out the tofu. Oops. Don't want to miss any.
We don't want to.
So this is what it looks like. You can see the steam, right? Steam coming out. It smells really good.
And then I'm adding the peppers to it. So that's why that's why, I seasoned the peppers when I was cooking them. And then I'll mix this together. And we have all the colors nicely mixed in.
And I'm sure if you wanted, you could actually do this on the fire again, right?
Oh yes, you could do it on the fire as well, but if you had done it on the fire, then you would use more oil, which we don't want. We want to stay away from the oil. So now we're gonna put it on our plate. And you have all the herbs. I'll bring it closer so you can see it. And these are the cilantro leaves that she picked.
You don't have to put any
You
more.
don't- Listen, you don't need to,
Huh?
you don't use the cilantro stems because they're very good. If you cut them fine.
Oh
they're
yes,
very-
Yeah, we
we're
can
not
use,
throwing it out.
yeah, we'll use them for like broth.
Okay.
That's nice. It'll give a nice flavor.
Yep.
But I don't like having to chew the stems.
No, if they're small, you can chew them. But if they're long, they're
Yeah, I'm
really-
saying I just don't like chewing them.
Okay, all right, carry on.
Okay.
Nice, very nice. I'm hungry now. I've been fasting, I'm really hungry.
Can you see
That's
that?
good.
Very nice.
Good.
So when you see this, I'm sure you would want to eat a dish with all these colors.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
And if you notice, we did not follow a recipe. So that's what we want you to do, to learn to just put your things together. A lot of persons, they want to transition from from animal protein to plant protein, but
Mhm.
they don't know how to prepare the
meal.
meals. So that is what we are here to do, to teach you. And someone might say, these are 4 classes. So we're having one next week, the following week, and the week after that. And someone said, the price it's way too cheap. But if you believe that the price is cheap and you want to contribute some more, that's fine. It's not going to us, it's going to the business. But we want you to be here next week by
Mhm.
God's grace.
What's next week? Have you got a schedule?
Yes, next week we will be doing burgers,
Okay,
and the following week we'll be doing a stew. And we want to, this is a stew with beans, and the week after that we want to do I want to do a brown stew dish. It will be a
Won't you make that you made that tofu here that you put the stuff in and you just ripped it up, and I've never made it because it was really delicious because it had a gravy. Like sometimes you just want something with a gravy.
yes.
Mhm.
Have
Yes.
you do another tofu and do that one because I really want to know how to do it.
Yes, we're gonna do that the last week.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
And she's gonna email everything.
Ahead of time.
Yes, so you can get the ingredients.
Fine. I'll cook along.
Yes, next time you'll cook along.
Yes,
That's good.
yes.
That's good.
All right.
And if you know someone who wants to join and they didn't join this week, then it's not too late. They can still email us, and we will send them this recording so they wouldn't miss this week's
Mhm.
session
Okay.
as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Carry on. I gotta go eat.
Okay.
Okay.
Any questions?
Enjoy your dinner.
Are you going to show us different ways of using chickpeas or black beans?
Yes, we will.
Very good, because I like
When we're doing the burgers next week, we are going to do, this week we started cooking a little later because of all because the introduction and, you know, going back and forth, persons trying to log on and all of that. But next week we will start earlier, and we're gonna, by God's grace, we're gonna be doing 2 different types of burgers next week. And with the same, what we're doing, we're also gonna be doing some meatballs as well.
That's
Oh,
a
dear.
lot of
Okay.
things. So
Oh,
make
dear.
sure you come on time. If you have any
Yes,
questions, send
yes.
them in before the session, like the
Yes.
day before, well, day before Sabbath, the Friday before,
Mhm.
right? So, you know, we're not scrambling the day of,
Yes.
because we really want you to be with us and get the most out of it.
And please keep the link as well, because yes, I'll send it again when I'm sending the information.
So
to
you're
you.
not searching through your
Yeah,
email for
that's
the
true.
link. Yeah,
That is true.
yeah.
All right. Any other questions?
I'm gonna say bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Wilma.
Thanks for joining us.
God
Yes.
bless. Thank you. I enjoyed.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
All
All
right. Are
right.
there any other questions before we go? Okay. Maureen,
So we
Yeah.
have 3 people.
do you have a question, Maureen?
No, I don't have a question. I just missed a little piece of what you was doing there. The tofu in the oven, but you said you put it in the. You get it. I'll get it. Not a problem.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. So yes, we seasoned the tofu and put it in the oven to bake.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
And then we sauteed the peppers separately. And as we
Just-
mentioned,
It
you
was
could
just
do-
red peppers you sauteed?
No, we used red, yellow, and orange.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Did you see? So there, I'm not sure if you can see them all.
No, I saw, but I didn't see from the beginning of sauteing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's
Alright.
there's a question. Can you please send a list of fruits so I can follow? Do you mean a list of fruits to eat with this meal? But like
Okay,
mommy,
so let me on general, just
Sister
general.
Rosetta, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay. Thank you for responding to my question. Yes, I always get confused because I'm growing on this journey. So
Yes.
I mix up my peppers and I'm eating broccoli with it and I'm eating lettuce with it because I was programmed that way. So I have to unprogram myself now.
That's
So
correct.
I'm on the journey of unprogramming. So if you can
Very
just
good.
send me a guide so that I don't mix them up.
Okay, and because
Please.
you asked, maybe you're not the only person. So I'll just say it in general.
Okay.
Everything or anything with a seed on the inside is a fruit.
Okay.
So for example, your cucumbers, tomatoes, squash, pumpkin, zucchini, tomato, what's the purple one again? Eggplant, the peppers, all of those are fruits, right? So if you're having a meal like this with the peppers, then on the side, you could have some tomatoes and cucumbers, or you could have some squash. You could, as Annie's doing, I think, did she say squash? No, she's doing potatoes.
Yeah.
You could bake some squash or some pumpkins, cut them in small sizes and add them to this as well. So that would give it color as well. So you have a wide variety. Anything with seeds on the inside, that is a fruit. Anything with the seed on the outside, but you may not know how they're grown. So when you look at the vegetables, you're talking about your lettuce, kale, broccoli,
carrots.
cauliflower, carrots, all of those are vegetables. But to know the fruits, just to remember, a seed on the inside, yes, that's a fruit.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. We'll see you all next
Wait,
week.
before you go, therefore, with that main dish that you just prepared, we could have rice or buckwheat or what else?
Rice, buckwheat, you could have quinoa, you could have baked potatoes or mashed potatoes. That's the Irish potato, or you could also, like Annie's doing, you could bake your sweet potatoes, and you could have that with it as well. Remember, the combination for the protein, the amino acid, the tofu is complete protein. So this is fine. Next week, we will look at the combination to get the complete protein if you don't have something like tofu.
Okay, so it doesn't then matter if we add a vegetable because the peppers are fruit.
The peppers are fruit. The cilantro is a herb. We don't want to add vegetables to the fruit dish.
Okay, because that's now considered a fruit dish, a fruit protein.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, you
a
could
fruit
call it
protein.
that.
Thanks.
All right, you're
Okay.
welcome. God bless.
God bless you.
Thank you for joining us. See you next week.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you later.